Hey everyone, and welcome back to Chat Like a Native. This time, we're going to be diving into something that I think can really make a big difference in how comfortable you feel speaking English, and that's slang, especially when you're out at a restaurant or cafe trying to get something to eat.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. It's one of those things that can really make you feel like you belong, right?
Absolutely.
Like you're not just a tourist struggling with the menu.
Exactly.
You're someone who gets, the lingo.
Okay, so let's get into this. How can slang actually help you in a dining situation?
Well, for starters, it can just make the whole interaction smoother.
Okay, how so?
Instead of saying, could I please have a cup of tea? You could just say, can I get a cuppa?
Ah, I see.
It's shorter,
Yeah.
snappier, more natural.
So it's about sounding more like a local...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, when you use slang, it kind of signals to the people around you that you're familiar with the culture, that
Interesting.
you understand the little nuances, the humor.
So it's almost like a secret handshake in a way.
Yeah, kind of. It shows you're in the know.
And that could definitely make you feel more confident, right?
Absolutely. And it can even lead to some unexpected connections.
Oh, I bet.
You might strike up a conversation with the waiter or the person next to you at the bar just because you used a slang term that they recognized.
That's awesome. So what are some essential phrases that our listeners can start using right away?
Well, we've already talked about cuppa for cup of tea,
Right.
but there are tons more. Like instead of saying, I would like, you could say, I'll have, or can I get?
Okay. Yeah, those are way more casual.
And if you're feeling adventurous, you could even try something like, I'm up for.
I'm up for a burger.
Exactly. Or could I grab a slice of pizza?
Oh, I like that one. It sounds so natural.
Right. It's all about finding those little phrases that fit your personality and the situation.
Now, I'm curious about something.
Yeah.
Does the tone of voice matter when using slang?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you don't want to sound like you're trying too hard or being sarcastic.
Right, of course.
It's all about finding that balance between being confident and friendly.
I can imagine it takes a bit of practice to get it just right.
Definitely. But you know what? Even if you mess up a little, people will usually appreciate the effort you're making.
It shows you're trying to connect with their culture.
Exactly. And speaking of culture, let's not forget about tipping.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
It can be tricky, especially when you're traveling to a new country.
Yeah, because you don't want to accidentally offend anyone.
Right. In most Western countries, tipping is expected, but the amount can vary depending on where you are.
Okay, so what's the general rule of thumb?
Well, in the U.S., for example, 15 to 20% is pretty standard for good service.
Okay.
But in the U.K., it's more like 10 to 12%.
Interesting. So it's definitely worth doing your research before you go.
Absolutely. It's a small thing,
Yeah.
but it can make a big difference in how you're perceived.
So for our listeners who are ready to start incorporating slang into their dining adventures, where do you suggest they begin?
You know what? One of the best things you can do is just listen.
Listen to how people talk.
Exactly. Pay attention to the phrases they use, their tone of voice, even their body language.
Oh, I like that.
And you can also learn a lot from movies and TV shows.
Right. Especially the ones set in restaurants and cafes.
Exactly. It's like a crash course in slang.
And of course, practice makes perfect.
Always. Don't be afraid to try out new phrases, even if it feels a little awkward at first.
The more you do it, the more natural it will become.
Absolutely. And you might even surprise yourself with how much you enjoy it.
So to wrap up, I think we've covered a lot of great stuff today. Using slang can really enhance your dining experiences.
It's about more than just ordering food.
Exactly. It's about connecting with the culture, feeling more confident, and having more fun.
And here's something for our listeners to think about. How do you think slang evolves over time? What are some of your favorite slang words that you've picked up on your language learning journey?
I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Until next time, keep chatting like a native.